in the context of routing in vehicular networks. So I'm going to try and get through this promptly so we don't take up too much of the morning. I'm going to introduce vehicular networking technology, and in fact one of the issues, because cars are always turning off roads, is that it's not like a regular computer network. The links break frequently, and that has profound implications for the way you do the routing. So the big issue is reliable routing. We're going to talk about where the situational awareness concept comes in doing our reliable routing, and we'll look at the situational awareness levels in reliable routing, and then I'll come to some conclusions. Now I'm hoping for those of you that work in situational awareness, although it's specific to vehicular network, I think it might trigger some interesting ideas for the areas in which you work. So vehicular networks are an important component of intelligent transportation systems, which aim basically to provide safe transport networks. Now, reliable routing in vehicular networks is actually very difficult. This is why it's not already out there. So it's proving more problematic than many expected. Although there is actually now an IEEE standard, so we've got Wi-Fi, which is a version of 802.11, but actually we've got 802.11p, which is known as WAVE, which is specifically for vehicles to talk to each other. The problem that we've had is with issues around routing in making the best use of this technology. And the reason is these networks, as I've indicated, are highly dynamic, because the link between two vehicles, wireless link, is going to be vulnerable to breaking due to the rapid movement of vehicles and classically the unpredictable behavior of drivers. So in a vehicular network, your routing algorithm needs to be aware. It's classic situational awareness. It needs to be aware of the current network status in order to predict the future status of the network. Now the reason for that is it needs to choose the most reliable route, in the sense of the route most likely to stay active between a source vehicle and a network vehicle on a road. Now they also need to prepare countermeasures so that if the current route does break because a vehicle turns off the road, then you've got a backup route. Because basically the communications hops between vehicles from one vehicle to another, but it's not a single link, it's a series of links typically. And obviously if one of the vehicles along that set of links turns off, you've potentially lost your connection. So let's get back to what situational awareness is about, and we take this very basic definition. It's simply the state of being aware of the circumstances that exist around us, particularly those relevant to us and which we're interested in. So by definition, reliable routing in vehicular networks can be considered as an aspect of situational awareness. Now to show you this, this is the classical situational awareness model. What you've got here is a series of levels. Now, most basic there is just being aware of the elements in your environment, perception of the elements in the current situation. So you've got to be able to perceive, see, feel, if you like, and then comprehending the situation, taking that information and making sense of the situation you're in, and then predicting from that future states, and then on the basis of that prediction, resolving the perceived state in order to make a decision. For example, of all the available routes, which one should I take? So you're making a decision and then you're performing an action, because once you've chosen your route, you're going to send data along that route. Now, typically we talk in general terms of the individual factors influencing the decision making: goals, experience, knowledge, expectations, training, and the task factors: system design, complexity, workload, and the capability of the system. Now, I start with this general slide because I wouldn't be talking to you this morning if I didn't believe some of the things we've done have more general applications. So I'm going to try and keep it relevant to your interests. Now, how do these levels map across to a vehicular network? Well, perception of the velocity. So if you're looking at how likely is a link between two vehicles, a hop between two vehicles likely to break, Well, it depends, for example, on whether or not they move out of communication range. So it depends on the relative speed and position of two vehicles. Now, if you think, where's that information going to come from? Basically, a lot has been standardized already for intelligent transportation systems.